This woman went to extreme lengths to awaken her godfather, biting through her own blood vessels just to drip a large amount of her blood into a coffin. As her blood slowly flowed into the mouth of a centuries-old corpse, something incredible happened. The body, dormant for nearly 200 years, suddenly began to stir with signs of life. Moments later, the reawakened corpse sat upright on a throne, its body connected to a web of blood-filled tubes, and sternly questioned his goddaughter below. Why had she awakened him a full century too early? Celine's answer was brief but chilling. Lucian is still alive. It turns out Celine and her godfather are members of the legendary vampire clan. After their ancient enemy, the werewolf leader Lucian, was believed to have been killed 600 years ago. The brutal war between vampires and werewolves, a conflict that had lasted for thousands of years, finally came to an end. The vampires once again ruled the night, while the few surviving werewolves were relentlessly hunted by an elite vampire squad known as the Death Dealers. But one day, during a routine werewolf hunt, Celine's team was suddenly detected by a vigilant lichen. Without warning, he pulled out a gun and opened fire right inside the subway station. As Celine and her partner scrambled for cover, another werewolf fired several rounds and took her teammate down instantly. Strangely, a vampire who shouldn't have died so easily was killed in a disturbingly unnatural way this time. Enraged, Celine launched a full-scale counterattack. Fearing more vampires would be drawn to the scene, the werewolves began fleeing through the station in panic. One werewolf was chased all the way to the end of a train car by a pursuing vampire. In one fierce leap, the vampire tackled him straight through the side of the train, slamming both of them onto the tracks. The werewolf responded with a single-handed chokehold, flinging his attacker aside. Then, without hesitation, he stood up and began stripping off his clothes, preparing to transform. Meanwhile, Celine, chasing another trail, discovered a hidden passage at a rail junction. Following it deeper underground, she stopped at a metal grate. Using her heightened vampire senses, she listened carefully and could hear what sounded like 100 or more werewolves gathering through the sewer pipes. At the center of the crowd, two werewolves were engaged in some kind of hand-to-hand martial arts duel. But suddenly, a sharp noise above forced Celine to retreat for the time being. Back at the underground arena, just as the werewolf sparring match was getting intense, a gunshot rang out, bringing everything to an abrupt halt. From the crowd emerged a man holding a shotgun. The young wolves instantly fell silent. This man was none other than Lucien, the werewolf leader the vampire clan had long believed to be dead. Though honestly, with his charisma and look, he almost seems more suited to playing a vampire. Back to Celine. After leaving the sewer, she hurried back to the vampire stronghold and handed over a weapon she had taken from the werewolves to the clan's technician for examination.
We have a serious problem.